Technology is everywhere, and there's just about nothing we can do without the help of a computer or smart device. This means children and adolescents are particularly vulnerable to a world of danger that goes beyond their front doorstep. Joining us with tips on better protecting children is Beverly Hutchinson, Executive Director for the D. Norton Child Advocacy Center. It's great to see you.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So your new title just started this month.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Tell us about the transition, first of all, between being the marketing developer to now at the helm.
So our previous now executive director, Carol Sawicki, had a little girl about 2 years ago. That's where this all started. Fully intended to come back full time, and fully decided that was not what she needed right now.
Right.
So she came to our board and said, I need to step back. I still want to be involved, but I need to have some family time right now.
Passing the torch, though, that is taking a lot onto your plate.
Oh, it is.
Because D. Norton does a tremendous amount for the community, and I want to get into that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about technology,
Yeah.
and technology is something that is everywhere now. We're saturated with it. So how do you protect children from all these dangers that are lurking around every corner?
Yeah, I actually asked that exact question to one of our therapists not too long ago, and she gave me some really great practical advice I'll share, which is treat your child's online environment just like you do their physical environment. Know where they're going, who they're hanging out with, who they're talking to, which I thought was really great practical advice. The idea of keeping up with technology as a parent and keeping ahead of your kids, probably not realistic. You still want to learn what are the most current apps, what do they own. That's part of that, knowing where they're going, right? Is knowing what apps they're using. Talking to them about that all of this technology is a privilege.
It's like a driver's license.
Right. It comes with maturity and guidelines, just like getting your driver's license, and then work with them to come up with what are the guidelines at your house, with your family.
I was going to ask you, because a lot of these things have been developed since parents became adults, so they didn't grow up with all these apps. They didn't grow up with all the social media. So to keep up with your child is a second job.
Yeah.
And they're always on some kind of platform.
Right.
So how do you know, though, that your child is accessing something that's safe? I mean, there's got to be certain ways that you can actually monitor that's easy enough for parents to grasp.
There are ways that you can monitor. We've got some great connections online on our website, some spots you can go and get some great tips on how to monitor that. One of the other things, though, that is critically important when you're setting up the parameters around using technology is to make sure that your child understands they can come and talk to you about anything. It is so easy with a click of a button to go to a place they didn't even intend to. So when that happens, you want them to feel very comfortable saying, "Oh, Mom, I didn't mean to do this, but this is what I saw." And so that you have already established that kind of a open communication with your kids before they ever, type in that wrong address, before they ever go to a site that they're not supposed to as part of your agreement.
Because it could be embarrassing.
It could be.
It could be very embarrassing.
Well, and if
we've all done it.
Do not do this.
Right.
Or else you're in trouble. That'll stop some kids from telling you when they've made a mistake.
Let's talk about social media, because social media is something that, again, I feel like it's overtaken a lot of people's lives. As adults, people have an addiction to it. So for young people to discover social media, they think it's an extra arm of their social existence, but it's very detrimental and does a lot of damage mentally, emotionally. So how do you then protect your child? I mean, do you just tell them no social media until you turn 16, or
I don't know how realistic that is,
Right.
because if they have the devices, if they have computers, they have access. So I think it's more important to talk to them about the importance of being the same person online that they are in their personal interactions, making sure that there's a balance for your child between social media interactions with folks and face-to-face interactions. We want them to still develop those social skills of actually being and having conversation with people face to face. So you want to make sure you have that balance. But really making sure that they understand how important it is that their online person is the same person they are all the time.
Yes, because everybody does try to portray a better version of themselves online, and but it's been ground for bullying and other abuse.
Well, and D. Norton deals with the issue of child abuse, and so that is a concern of ours, is that perpetrators have access to your child. And so that's another conversation about what information your child puts out there about themselves, and about the consequences of putting really personal information out there for the world to see.
Because once it goes out into the internet, it's there forever, and it can get into the wrong hands. I mean, there was even a situation where I think an infant had their social security number stolen somehow because of access to the parents, and it's just crazy what can happen. But have you talked to any of either parents or some of the specialists that you work with as to what the kind of hard and fast rule is? I mean, as we look down the road several years from now, is it really that important that we put anything about ourselves online?
I think that's going to be a family-to-family question. I don't know, it's hard to see into the future. Right. It remains important for your child, for someone that's younger, to make sure that you don't have too much personal information out there where a perpetrator could get access, where you as the parent don't want that perpetrator to have access.
That's right. Well, this is a good place to take a break. When we come back, you've got a couple events coming up that I want everyone to know about. We'll do that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We've been talking with Beverly Hutchinson of D. Norton Child Advocacy Center, and you have some events that are coming up. Real quick, how can people get involved?
So the best place to find lots of details is on our new website we rolled out this spring, dnortoncenter.org. But in October, we have a speaker luncheon with Chris Singleton, so we're excited about that.
Chris Singleton.
We're so excited. 2022 will be the return of our dinner auction at the Cedar Room, so that information about that is there as well. We are hitting a pause button for 2021 on our Charleston Child Trauma Conference, but we will pick back up in mid-October of 2022 with that national conference.
Wonderful. Well, you do wonderful work in the community. Beverly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's great to see you.
Nice to see you.
We're back after this.